She shouted, "Just leave me alone, please." That was the moment something inside me quietly snapped. I stood there, frozen halfway through the doorway, her words echoing through the living room like they were daring me to breathe. A picture frame she'd brushed off the table lay smashed beside her feet, its glass glittering across the hardwood floor. I wanted to step toward her, to reach out toward anything familiar, but the look in her eyes told me I was already a stranger. Her name was Mira. Mine was Daniel. And for nearly 11 years, I believed we were building a life that would weather anything. That night had begun like many others. I came home tired but comforted by the thought of a quiet evening with her. Her phone kept buzzing on the counter, non-stop, but she brushed it off with a tight, uncomfortable smile. Work messages, she said, but the tone wasn't right. Nothing about her was right that evening. I tried to ignore the unease and poured us wine, hoping to smooth the tension hanging thick between us. "Rough day?" I asked, taking my seat across from her. She let out a brittle laugh. "It's fine. Actually, just leave me alone tonight." The words hit harder than anything she'd ever said to me. There was no exhaustion in her voice, just distance, a wall rising fast. "What's going on?" I asked quietly. "Nothing. Please, just go." Her hands trembled as she tried to hold herself together, and something inside me twisted painfully. I could have pushed, demanded, argued, but I knew it would only widen the cracks spreading between us. I left the room telling myself I was giving her space, but my thoughts were racing, piecing together every moment I had ignored, the late nights, the vague explanations, the way she suddenly guarded her devices like they were secrets she had to protect. Sleep wouldn't come, so I wanted the house until I saw it. Her laptop glowing softly on the dining table, left open as though waiting for me. I didn't mean to look, but I did. Messages, dozens of them. Hours-long conversations with a man I had never heard about. Words I didn't recognize coming from her. A different version of Mira entirely. A version I wasn't part of. My hand shook as I scrolled, each sentence slicing deeper than the last. It wasn't innocent. It never had been. The next morning, I asked her to sit down. "We need to talk," I said, my voice steady in a way I didn't recognize. She looked at me, tears already forming. "Daniel, I can explain." "No," I said softly, raising my hand. I saw everything. Her silence was the final confirmation, and instead of rage, all I felt was a hollow, world-crushing sadness. Trust wasn't something you could glue back together, not once the foundation had been cracked in secret. Days passed with us moving through the same rooms like ghosts. She would cry sometimes when she thought I wasn't looking. I would stand silently in the hallway, wondering how someone I loved so fiercely could become unreachable overnight. But the truth sat between us every minute of every day. There was no going back. One morning, I packed a small bag, left a note on the counter. Nothing dramatic, nothing spiteful, just the truth. Then I stepped outside and closed the door behind me. The sound felt like the final line of a story I had once believed would last forever. She called after me from inside the house, her voice cracking, begging, pleading. "Daniel, please. We can fix this." But I didn't turn. My heart was breaking, but the part of me that had carried our marriage for years understood something clearly. Not every betrayal is meant to be forgiven. That night, I stayed at my friend Aaron's place, staring at the ceiling, drowning in grief I couldn't name. But beneath the pain was something else, something quiet. Relief, the smallest seed of freedom. Weeks later, I learned more about the man she'd chosen, the lies she had spun to keep it hidden. Each detail hurt, but strangely, each one also brought clarity. I stopped waiting for apologies. I stopped searching for reasons. And slowly, painfully, I began forgiving myself for loving honestly, for trusting completely. That love hadn't been a mistake. It had been real, and it deserved a future, even if she wasn't in it. Years later, I'd look back and remember the night Mira shouted, "Leave me alone." I'd remember the cold sting of betrayal, the silence of home that no longer felt like mine, and the long walk away from everything we had built. But I'd also remember what came after, the rebuilding, the rediscovering, the strength I never knew I had. Walking away didn't end my story. It started a new one.